Welcome to the program. I'm your host, Roby Brock, and welcome to our new show format, thanks to our content partnership with Fox 16 News. You're going to see some different looks than in the past, but we hope to bring you the same great content with newsmakers and analysis of the state's business and political climate. Let's begin on the business front. Joining me is Christopher Crane, who made his debut as the Arkansas Film Commissioner in 2009. His credits include revamping the state's tax incentives for movies and digital production projects in Arkansas. He also helped land one of the largest movie projects to ever film in Arkansas, and that would be Mud, starring Reese Witherspoon and Matthew McConaughey. Welcome to the program. Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about Mud to begin with. Directed by Little Rock filmmaker, native of Little Rock, Arkansas, Jeff Nichols. This thing's getting a lot of Oscar buzz already. It got a good review at the Cannes Film Festival. And what's that going to mean for Arkansas, do you think?
Oh, my gosh, I think the meanings are numerous. First of all, I think the film has cinematic beauty. So in perpetuity, this film is going to exist, and you'll be able to see Arkansas in a light that probably hasn't been shown in quite a while. So the cinematic element. Also, the buzz now is that Arkansas has a great crew base to work with, has wonderful facilities, has all of the amenities that it takes to produce an A-list film.
Yeah.
And so I think that truly puts us on the map to really have a resurgence in filmmaking in the state.
Yeah, well, Christopher, how prepared do you think we were for this type of project? This was about a $10 million movie project, one of the bigger ones that we've ever done here. Was the infrastructure needed that we needed in place? Did you feel pretty good about how we executed?
Yeah, I think, as a whole, we have laid the groundwork pretty successfully. We're still lacking in a few areas, and we're working on those. But, I will tell you that the producers and the director and Jeff, being an Arkansan, of course, he's a little biased, but he thinks that his experience was absolutely wonderful here. So we're very proud of our crew base, and we're very proud of the vendors, the support services that came out to truly help make this endeavor a positive one for the filmmakers and for the state.
Now, you rolled out something new this past week in an economic development announcement, ArkansasProduction.com, and this AR film marketing campaign that you guys are going to be pursuing with Mud, as a matter of fact. Tell me kind of what's the mechanics of all of this. What does it do?
Well, first of all, it aligns us with the other IT commissions in the United States and around the world. What it is, it's a back-end database that truly lets us pinpoint crew base and locations throughout the state. And so if we have an individual wanting to sign up to be a grip or a gaff in a certain area, they can automatically put their resume on our website and be found. Now, the neat thing also is that the location part of this gives us the ability to market the state from tip to tip, not only within the state, but anytime anybody does a national search on, an 1845 church, all of those will pop up in the state of Arkansas. So it gives us the ability to reach out and touch some people. Otherwise, we might not have been able to.
Right. And tell me about, a lot of people don't really have a lot of knowledge of how the whole courting process of recruiting a movie to Arkansas. It's a dance a little bit. You guys are searching, they're searching. Tell me, kind of walk me through that whole process.
That's kind of like, how long is a piece of string? It changes each time. Sometimes we do cold calls to scripts and directors that we know are looking for storylines that would meet our topography in the state. Oftentimes we answer calls from producers and directors because they know about Mud being shot here. They've seen, something else that was shot here. They've heard that we have, a beautiful, canyon, et cetera, up in northwest Arkansas. And so that's part of the process. And then, initially they ask us about locations, but most of the time they ask us about incentives. What are your incentives? Do you have an incentive program? We do now. And so we're able to be semi-competitive on that level. And then it really takes us diving into their project and counting beans, so to speak, so to match us up with other incentive programs throughout the country.
And the incentives are competitive enough that you can get in the game, would you say?
That is correct. Yeah, initially our incentives are competitive enough. With our new program with the new database, we're going to be able to offer something called a preferred vendor status, in which it truly does become a public and private partnership where businesses now will be able to offer a discount, and we can help with our incentives grouping that together to really affect the bottom line of a film company.
What's going on right now? We're at the very tail end of the Little Rock Film Festival, which is in its 6th year here. Over 100 films, which really kind of astounds me that it's grown that big in just less than 6 years. What kind of opportunities does that present for you to meet with filmmakers from out of state? They're here. How many appointments?
Well,
you're booked up, I would presume.
We are booked up. First of all, I want to say that they have done a tremendous job. When they first started this festival, they were reaching out to people to try to get submissions, and now they're having to turn away submissions. So they've done a remarkable job. They have A-lister films here, and the neat part is that everybody's accessible. So every single filmmaker is accessible. So I get to talk to each filmmaker and look at what they've done. We have a particular filmmaker yesterday, in fact, that I looked at her film. We struck up a conversation because she writes toward kind of a southern slant, and our locations truly were her locations that she put in her film, and so that gives us the opportunity to meet face-to-face with a filmmaker in which we can recruit to the state. So,
right.
Fabulous.
All right, I got about 30 seconds. How active would you say the pipeline is right now?
Pipeline's very active. I think that we have positioned ourselves well to become a filmmaking ground in the United States.
All right. So, Christopher Crane, Arkansas Film Commissioner, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. All right. Well, how are your cooking skills? If they're good enough that you think you should get paid for them, how much are you worth? We'll slice and dice the big business of culinary arts after this word from our sponsors. Plus, we had an election before Memorial Day. Not very many people showed up, did they? Well, they did. We'll talk politics later in the show with bloggers Jason Tolbert and Michael Cook. I'm Roby Brock. This is Talk Business. We're back after the break.